So this is problem 2.6.14. We have a regular corral of 208 square meters. It's to be fenced off and then divided by a fence into two sections, such as in their picture. If the cost of fencing for the boundary is $10 per meter and the dividing fence is $6 per meter, so all the way around our fence is $10 and the middle is $6. Find the dimensions of the corral that minimize the cost of the fencing. So we know we want to minimize cost. And that's good because that will kind of tell us our cost is going to be our main equation. Let's see if we couldn't figure out an equation for cost. So our cost is going to be, let's see, I need to go all the way around, and it's going to cost me $10 to go all the way around. So I'm going to do $10 for everything to go around, which is going to be an X plus a W plus an X plus a W. Plus, and then I need just this one dividing piece right there, and that's going to be $6, and that has the length of W. So my cost is, let's see if we can simplify this. So 10 times X plus an X, that should, if I multiply it all out and add it up, that should give me 20X. Plus, and then I'm going to have 20W plus 6 more W, so 26W. So that's my cost. But as you write this, you're like, okay, I want to minimize cost, and this means I want to take the derivative of this, but the problem is I have two variables, and I just don't know what to do with two variables. And that's why they invented what we call our constraint equations. You need one way to get rid of a variable, okay? And they told us that we have a corral of 206 square meters, or 208 square meters. So that means if you take the area, that has to be 208. So area would be length times width, or X times W. So X times W has to equal 208. Now solve for one of these variables. It really doesn't matter which one. I'm going to solve for W. So W will be 208 over X. Okay, and then we'll plug that into our cost equation. So now my cost is equal to 20X plus 26, and instead of W I put 208 over X. So 20X plus 26 times 208 is 5,408 over X. Or if you prefer, just to make it easy to take the derivative, you could do 20X plus 5,408 times X to the power of -1. Having stuff written out in powers always makes it easier to do the derivative. Okay. So now we take the derivative of cost, because we got it down to one variable, so we can actually take the derivative. So the derivative of cost is going to be, let's see, derivative of 20 is just 20, and that 5,408 stays there, and then we bring down the -1 as the power. We'll have X, and you drop the power by 1, so -1 minus 1 is -2. So this is 20 minus 5,408 over X squared. Now we're trying to minimize our cost, so anytime you're looking for a max or min, you set your derivative equal to 0. So 20 minus 5,408 over X squared equals 0, and we solve for X. This is why you have to take all those algebra classes before you take calculus, so remember how to solve equations. I'd start by moving this entire chunk of 5,408 over X squared over to the other side. So 20 equals 5,408 over X squared. And I'll multiply both sides by X squared and divide both sides by 20. So I'll have X squared equals 5,408 over 20. Which is 270.4. And so X is going to equal plus or minus the square root of 270.4. Okay. I was going to go ahead and leave it like this, but if you look very carefully at the directions, so MyMathLab is kind of picky. Oh, I cut it off, sorry. But if you look at the directions for this problem, it says, simplify your answer, including any radicals. Use integers or fractions for any numbers. So we were supposed to simplify without decimals, basically. So simplify with radicals, integers, or fractions. Okay, which means that I can't actually come and use this decimal right here. Or it's probably not going to accept my answer. Maybe it will. I haven't tested it out. Let's see, so 5,408 over 20 is equal to 1352 over 5. So x is going equal plus or minus the square root of 1352 over 5. Or this is the square root of 1352 over square root of 5. And at this point, we're really going to have to remember all of our simplification rules and things from all of our other algebra classes. So I'm going to look at the number 1352. And I like to simplify radicals with trees. So 1352, I'm going to start guessing what goes in it. I know a 2 goes into it. So 2 and 676, and that looks like I could put another 2 in. You get 338. And divide that by 2 again. So 2 and 169. And then I think I just happen to remember that 169 can be divided by 13. I'm right, it's 13 and 13. So really, 1352 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 13 times 13. So the square root of 1352 is equal to the square root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 13 times 13. And so one of these 2's can come out and one of these 13's can come out. So we'll have 2 times 13 times the square root of 2. Or 26 square roots of 2. Okay. So this back up here is currently 26 square roots of 2 over square roots of 5. If you look at the answer, okay, they have 52 over square roots of 10, so they just simplified it slightly differently. I think that our answer would work. Okay. But if not, you could multiply top and bottom by square roots of 5 and get to something that they might like better. It's always interesting to see, because these are just people that program this. It's not perfect. And so it's just kind of, what answer did they have in mind? So x is currently 26 square roots of 2 over square roots of 5. Now in most of our math classes we would have gotten rid of the square on the bottom, so I'll probably just times this by square root of 5 over square root of 5. So I get 26 square roots of 10 over 5. And that's what I would leave my answer at. If you simplified it differently, you might also get 26 square roots of 2 over 5. Or you might also get 26 over, or not 26, but 52 over the square root of 10. So there's lots of different ways you can simplify this. Any of these answers really should probably be accepted as correct. Okay. I'm going to choose this one. So we have our x. Now we just need to find w. Well, far, far above, we said that w is equal to 208 over x. Now this entire problem would have been much simpler if they just said, let us use decimals. Okay. Sorry that they didn't actually say that. So in our case, w is going to be 208 over our x value, which is 26 square roots of 10 over 5. Okay, let's see, this is a complex fraction, so this is like 208 times 5 over 26 square roots of 10. Let's see, 208 times 5 divided by 26 is just 40, so we have 40 over square roots of 10, and I think I would leave my answer there. Okay. If you didn't want to leave your answer there, though, you could say this is 40 over square roots of 10. If you don't like square roots and bottom, you can multiply top and bottom by square roots of 10. So we get 40 square roots of 10 over 10. Those 10's cancel, and you get 4 square roots of 10. So either way, you should probably be, it should accept either of those answers as correct.